recording. Um, so I'm recording this and I can email it out to everyone who signed up. Okay, I have a list of everyone that signed up. So what I'm going to do is I will email this to all of you folks. That way, if anyone needs to leave early or for anyone that just, wasn't able to be here, no stress. I understand you got a lot busy lives. So I'll send you the recording. I'll also send you a little resource, a few resources to help you out because I always like to send people back with some resources, homework, PDF type things. So, um, I see it is 2:02 now. I'm not going to make anyone wait because I know you're all busy folks. So we will get started. Okay. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know you are busy people. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Stephanie Gelman and I'm the product manager of online leads with Royal LePage Canada. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what you need to do to convert more online leads and essentially help more people find a home. Okay, it's always important to remember that these are people looking for homes. Okay, so feel free to say hi in the chat. You can also put questions in the chat as we progress. Okay, you can also, if you feel the need, you can unmute yourself and ask a question. Okay, I'm not going to be terribly formal. So if at any point in this you need to say something, just feel free to blurt it out. And like I said, I'm going to record this. It's being recorded as we speak. I'll email it to you and I'll send you some resources. So let's dive into it. I got a lot that I'm going to pack into this time, but don't worry, it'll be fun. So we're going to talk about why you should care about online leads, the kinds of leads that you get from smart leads. Okay. I'm not going to go into, I'm not going to spend much time on that, but a little overview of what kinds of leads you can get, why you should care. Okay. Who are online leads? What do they need? How are they different than other kinds of consumers? We're going to talk about close rates, typical close rate of leads versus well managed close rate. Okay. How to leverage technology and systems to improve lead conversion rates because really that's the guts of it. That's what we want to do. We want to do well and we want to use systems and technology to help us do well. Okay. And a part of that is going to be siphoning out low quality leads by using systems and technology. Okay, i.e., smart campaigns or other similar items. Okay, then when we siphon out the low quality ones, what do we do? How do we interact with them? So we'll talk about engaging with leads to effectively qualify people. Then we'll wrap it up with tracking and then some training recommendations. Okay, so a lot going on, but it will be fun. So first off, just a quick one pager of the different kinds of leads that you can get from smart leads. Essentially, there's two kinds of leads, right? When we talk about smart leads, there's going to be designated ones and distributed ones. Okay. Everyone can get designated ones. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything special to activate or tell your manager that you're interested. Just the fact that you are an agent, you have a page, an agent contact me page on royallepage.ca, and you can get an agent contact me designated lead. These leads are gold. A lot of people underestimate them, but they are gold and they come from your profile. Okay, so make sure that your profile is up to date. So if a consumer goes to royallepage.ca and, for example, searches for an agent who works in Belleville who specializes in first time home buyers and maybe speaks Portuguese. Well, if one of you guys does that, make sure you put it in your profile so people can find you. Okay, so um, that's a designated lead. Anyone can get those. Agent listings. If you have a listing, you can get designated leads from your listings. People can request information. They can request to book a showing. They can do what we call a value consult, where they effectively are asking you for more information about the price and why it's listed at the price it is listed. Okay. Those are designated. So like I said, you don't have to do anything special to be able to receive those. Distributed are ones that when you want them, you need to talk to your manager. or whoever it is that's running it at your location, because I'll be honest, I don't know necessarily from location to location, but it's usually a manager. Um, and you say, hey, I want the DDF listing leads. Okay. I want the DDF ones. They are coming from DDF. We call them distributed. So these are hosted by competitor listings on our site. Um, listing inquiries, also sellers. So we have on royallepage.ca an AVM tool where people can get the estimated value of their home. We don't force people to register. We give them the info. And then we say, if you'd like to discuss this with an agent, please fill out this form. So those are also a kind of distributed lead that you can receive. We also have distributed leads that we get through various third party partnerships. We have one with Nesto, an online mortgage company. So they're sending us some buyer leads. We also have some with a real estate website called Move Me To that's effectively sending DDF listing and seller leads as well as designated leads to our offices. Okay. So each one of these has the potential to turn into a sale when treated properly. Okay. So why should you care? Why does this matter? Because pretty much everybody uses the internet to search for homes. Okay, everybody with an internet connection. I would wager to say that's what this 97% is. The other 3% are people who are living off the grid. So it's in our best interest to know how to convert them into sales as efficiently as possible, because if you don't, somebody else will, right? Okay, so what do these people look like? The people who are filling out forms. What do they look like? Who are they? Often they can be a little further from transacting, right? So the people who pick up the phone and call you are the people that are, usually want to transact tomorrow. People who fill out a form, they might be a little further away. They're in the interest and desire stage of the sales funnel. Okay. They might not even have a move date in mind. Okay. But they're thinking about it. So these people, they might be first time home buyers. They might need help understanding the whole process, financing, how to get a mortgage. These people can be months and months away from transacting. Okay. And because they're so far away from transacting, they will often want anonymity. They're just not ready to talk to an agent yet. They don't want to be sold to. And this is why you've probably experienced leads that won't put a phone number, or they'll give you an incomplete name or initials or something. It's not because they don't, they genuinely want information. They just don't want to be sold to yet. They're kind of scared of you. Okay. So we don't want to be too pushy, but at the same time, we need to remember that the leads, they're not flaky. Okay. And they are serious, even if they don't want to transact right away. They're just not ready yet. So be patient. Okay. Now, here's the funny thing, they will not grant you the kind of patience that you need to grant them. Okay. Because online leads are impatient. And if they don't get a quick reply from you, they're going to fill out another form and another and another until somebody gets back to them. Okay. Because we live in this society of instant gratification. You know this. So, this is why a quick response is so, so vital to your success. And I'm going to repeat it a bunch of times throughout this training, because when you answer them quickly, you stop them from filling out another form. Okay. And this is so weird because they want that even when they don't want to reply to you back. They just want to know that you're there for them. Okay. So, lastly, while a fast response is great and it's what you want to aim for, you need to also remember to provide quality information to your lead over time. Okay. So your answers, your messages to them, you need to communicate value and demonstrate your expertise, because your goal is to build trust, right? Your goal is to prove to them that you're better than all the other people who are vying for their attention, because there are others, right? So, um, you need to build trust, but you also need to stay in touch, because they will not likely reply to your first, second, third, maybe even fourth message. You need to remain persistent through the outreach, okay? Because you need to think of online leads as a way to access clients before they're ready to be clients sometimes. And when you do this, you're getting the edge on the competition. Okay. They might not buy a house today or tomorrow, but they will buy something someday. And when that happens, you want it to be with you, right? You don't want it to be with somebody else. So, how do you make sure that they're going to come to you when they are ready? How do you keep their attention while they're figuring out their life plan? Okay, you use a system, you use something that works. We've created things that work. They're in our LP sphere. They're called smart campaigns. Okay, now I'm not here to totally push that system on you. If you use another CRM and it has good campaigns, or if you can create your own and replicate what we've made, go for it. That's a great thing. Just use some kind of system and use one that's proven to be effective. Okay. So, what do I mean by that? Like, I love analogies. It's kind of like washing dishes by hands versus using a dishwasher. Okay. Either way, my dishes are going to get clean. Right. But when I use the machine, I don't have to get my hands dirty. My manicure stays intact. Um, my dishes, they actually probably come out cleaner than when I did it myself because they're getting sanitized, right? And sometimes I'm a little sloppy, let's be honest. And so much of my time was saved, and I get to do more interesting, more fun things. Okay, so think of the smart campaigns, the automated messaging in a similar way. They help you close more leads, they're going to do it easier, they free you up to do other work because they're doing the work for you. Okay, so um, online leads in general are going to close at 1% or less. And these are the people that want to buy regardless of the level of effort that you put into nurturing them. These are the people that know, well, I need to buy a house. So I'm filling out a form and gosh darn it, it's happening. Right. And so yeah, 1 out of 100 or maybe 1 out of 110 or so, they're going to buy regardless. When you manage leads well, you can close in the 4 to 6% range. I've seen this happen over time. I've been managing smart leads now since 2018. So we have the statistics that prove that it's true. Okay. I even know some agents that close in the double digits, in the 10, 11, 12% range. Okay. It requires work though, right? Because it's not just going to happen. Okay. And when you use automation, the amount of actual work you need to do is minimal, like using your dishwasher. Okay. We also need to remember that working leads is a very worthwhile commitment and it's not complicated, but it requires time and focus on the long goal. Okay. It's like having a fitness goal. You require daily commitment to doing the right things, and you're not going to see results overnight. But don't give up. Okay. To succeed, you need to follow the plan, follow the advice of the experts because we've done the research for you. That's what they pay me to do. We know it works. Okay, it's a simple formula. You need to be fast, you need to be persistent, you need to provide value. Okay. Um, okay. So I said it before and I told you I would repeat it, but I'm going to repeat it. People are impatient. If they don't get a quick reply, they're going to fill out another form, another form, another form. Okay. Now, they say that you're 100 times more likely to connect with a lead when you reply within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. Okay. Now, I say 5 minutes. They say 5 minutes is best, but it doesn't matter how much time has gone. Always reply. Do not despair. Okay. If some time has gone by, and if you're a little bit slow, and maybe someone else reached out to them because in their impatient, they filled out a few forms, you still have a chance to succeed if you persist with your outreach because most other agents won't. Most agents will send one, maybe two emails or text messages. And when they don't get a reply from those, they stop. But if you persist, you have a chance. You have more chances. Okay. And the winners are people who use automation. Okay. Now, Smart Leads was built. Okay, I said I started managing Smart Leads in 2018. That's when it was created. We had this custom created for our agents, okay, to ensure a fast response and to ensure continuous nurturing, because we did a lot of research and we saw that there was a big problem in the real estate industry. And, we thought, well, we can do better. Okay, so you guys know you get your leads by email and text. If you're not getting them via text and you want to get them via text, you need to talk to your manager about how to activate that. Okay, because there's a few little buttons they need to push in the background, but you want them via text so you can be faster. Um, okay, now, distributed leads, the ones that we talked about that are coming from competitor listings and the seller leads, they come to you based on the service location you have told your manager, your administrative staff that you want to service, right? So you work in Belleville, you get Belleville leads. You work in Ottawa, you get Ottawa leads, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Now, the more areas you're open to servicing, the more leads opportunities you can receive, obviously. So some people are very narrow with their criteria. Well, I only want downtown West Side $5 million home leads. Well, okay, you're probably not going to get that many, but sure. Um, Secondly, okay, the other things that we do to ensure that leads are replied to quickly is the expiry time. So you'll notice when you get a lead, there's a little countdown clock. And we do that on purpose, not to punish you, not to stress you, but to ensure that the leads are being accepted quickly and then hopefully reached out to quickly. And we'll talk about that. Okay. So once you accept them, it automatically becomes a contact in your Sphere CRM. So I said before, I don't, if you want to use some other system, that's fine. I'm not here to sell Sphere, but I don't know why anyone would use something else when this one is so automated and custom made for you. It syncs. You don't have to do any work. If you want to use some other system, you're going to have to manually enter your contacts in there, whereas this is all automatically syncing. Okay. So they sync. They're labeled. When you activate our Castle compliant smart campaigns, like I said, it does so much of the work for you. And more about that later. So, um, just quickly for people who have never seen a lead before, I don't know if there's any like new people on the call, right? This is what it looks like when you receive a lead. Okay, so I mentioned before you can get them via text or email. So you'll get a little text message. I'm sorry it's tiny, but you'll see it probably bigger in the recording. You can zoom in, but it basically just says new lead opportunity from Roy LePage. Click here to accept or decline. And when you click, that's when you will be brought to your little countdown clock. And it tells me right now, this one tells me I have 3 minutes and 20 seconds to accept it before it will be timed out and passed off to the next qualified agent. Okay. So once I click yes, once I, say yes over here, then it's automatically synced into my system. Then I receive an email with all the details of the lead. Because until I accept it, I don't really know much about it. I might know the general area, like here. Oh man, it's really tiny. I'm sorry, but here it tells me it's in Toronto, and it tells me the postal code. Okay, and it tells me it's a commercial lead, so I know that much. So I can say, no, I don't really like commercial properties, and I don't feel like doing Toronto today. No, thank you. Okay, cool. So that's speed. The second key to closing more leads is persistence. So from the first time you reach out to somebody and after any time you reach out, there's two ways. I know it's so obvious, but there's really only two ways it can go. Either they answer you or they don't. Okay. Now, if they don't answer you, well, that's fine. Stay persistent. Continue with the outreach, even if you don't get a reply. If they do reply, well, then that's when you do your magic and do what you're good at, and that's talking to people, right? And that's when you help them figure out their timeline and their plan. Now, statistics tell us that leads will typically respond somewhere between the second and the 12th contact attempt, most likely after the fifth, but sometimes it takes more tries to get a reply. Okay. The campaigns, they automate everything. Over 90% of touches, and when I say touches, that's emails and text messages. Over 90% over 6 months are automated. And the cool thing about automation is it allows you to not feel bogged down hoping for reply, right? It You can feel really bogged down. I don't know about you, but I know I can feel really I feel like a pest when I'm sending out stuff and not getting replies. But if I'm letting the system do it, then I don't even have to worry. Okay. Um, so mentioned it before. I want you to be patient, okay? My analogies, I love my analogies. If you've ever planted anything, okay, you know results are not instant. You need to follow a process and you need to trust that the things that you do day in and day out without seeing any results are doing something. I started my tomato seedlings. I had to water them for like 2 weeks before they poked out of the dirt, right? But I knew I was like hoping this water is doing something for them. So you're going to see the results if you are consistent. Okay. Consistent means providing information, making sure that you are easy to be reached. So when the leads are ready to be in touch, they will reach out to you. Okay. So you'll see results over time. Some are going to be fast, right? The people that want to buy tomorrow. Think of that as like, the plant that you bought that's got the bud and it's ready to burst and you didn't have to do any work for it. Okay. But most of them are going to take a lot more time. So in that time, while you are waiting for them to be ready and you are helping them, one of the things that you're going to do to help them is provide valuable information. The easiest way you can provide valuable information is to set people up on a search alert. Set them up on a search alert to receive listings that are similar to the one that they asked about. It's quick, it's easy, it's a way to give people something without asking anything in return. And I'm telling you, people like looking through those things. Okay. Um, Now, bonus, when you do it in the Sphere system, the system will tell you when they open those emails, which is really cool because then you can follow up. You can say, "Hey, Stephanie, so what did you think of, 123 Main Street?" I don't know if you want to say that you saw that they opened it. That might seem disconcerting to them, but, you know, engage. It gives you a reason to engage. Okay. Um, I want to quickly talk about leads that are rental leads, because I know y'all love rentals, okay? Or ones that just don't transact for one reason or another, right? I talked about the close rate of well-managed leads being like 4 to 6%. Well, that means that like 95 out of 100 are not closing, right? For one reason or another. So we need to remember that leads are not about just this one sale today, now. It's about you might be able to get a referral or two out of the deal. Okay. So remember to bring value and establish trust. Okay. So I know an agent, for example, who closed a condo rental for a college student. It was not a high priced rental deal at all, but he was great with that client. He treated the client with professionalism and dignity and just all the good stuff that you would treat, $1 million client. He was so good with that guy that he ended up being referred to list his parents' home. So now he's listing the home for this college student's parents. He's going to be, buying and selling with the parents. He's also helping their older siblings buy their first homes. And guaranteed, if this agent is smart and he stays in touch, when that college student graduates, who do you think he's going to be calling? Who do you think he's going to be asking him to help him buy his first home? Right? So all of this is coming from one little rental deal that a lot of people say that they don't have time for. Okay. So, um, renters, most of them ultimately have the goal to purchase, but also remember they have friends and family. Okay. Don't discount the value of referrals. I want you guys to also look at recent market forecasts. So we expect that there's probably going to be a surge of home buyers. ready to jump in the market. We're already seeing lots of activity starting. Okay. A lot of people were sidelined over the past few years. And a lot of people did not get the opportunity to purchase. So, one thing that I think is very valuable to do is go through your book of contacts, go through your old leads that you are still allowed to get in touch with, with Castle Allowance and all that. Reach out and see if you can help them find a home now before the market really blows up, right? Hey, Stephanie, let me get you in before the market goes crazy. We've got a few good places that I know would be great for you. Now, I did a really cool webinar a few years ago. It's still very relevant. It's called the Zombie Lead Apocalypse, where I had a guest speaker, a trained lead conversion specialist, come in, and he shared all kinds of tips and tricks on what to say to re-engage old leads. Okay, so I strongly suggest that you look at that, the Zombie Lead Apocalypse on the Smart Leads YouTube channel. Okay, um, cool. Okay, so speed and persistence, these are speed and persistence with value. Don't forget the value. These are keys to closing more leads. We know that now. Those are behaviors, um, but you need tools, right? Doing those things on your own is hard. It's time consuming and it's silly because we have tools that make life easier. And a CRM is a tool that everyone needs to use. If you are not using a CRM, for the love of God, start using one now because you need to. You need a CRM because it's going to help increase your close rates. It's going to help you be better at business in general because you're going to have data and you need to have data that you can organize and analyze so you know what works and what doesn't work. Okay. And so you know what to do next. Okay. A good CRM is going to include step-by-step plans of best practices that have proven results, things that you can follow. Okay. And it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business, everyone can learn something new. And automation is your friend. Okay. A good CRM has automation. It saves you so much work. Well, we'll get into why some people don't like automation, but you really want to save your time and effort. You can be doing better things. Okay. You're better than that. Um, they're going to help you stay persistent with the long-term nurturing. I talked before about how I feel like a pest, right? If I keep reaching out to someone, I'm just going to want to stop, because maybe I feel like a pest, or maybe I just don't know what the heck to say anymore because I've tried so many times. When you use the campaigns, you don't even need to worry about what to say because it says it for you. And then lastly, in the sphere, we have some really beautifully branded, professionally created templated pieces. And when you use those, they show people how professional you are. Okay. And it allows you to benefit from RLP's well-established reputation, especially if you are a new agent, you don't, and you haven't established your own reputation yet. Piggyback on Royal LePage's. We have a long history that you should be proud of. Okay, so we are trying to make it as easy as humanly possible for you to work leads. Okay, and part of that, I had our lead company add in a button. So when you get your lead, okay, I talked about, you have to accept it. Once you accept it, you receive an email from the system and it says, okay, here's all the contents of your lead, their message, their name, etc. There's a little button there. Just click that ribbon and it brings you directly into your Sphere CRM, because I know how much people hate clicking multiple times. It's annoying. So what you do is, as soon as you get the lead, this should be your immediate behavior. You get a lead, you click this button, brings you right into Sphere. Now, because you're awesome and you've activated smart campaigns, you will see that your lead has already received a message. Okay. And when you've activated the smart campaigns, when you look at your lead, you're going to look at the timeline and it's going to show you your task to do next. Okay. Um, okay, so I keep saying smart campaigns, I didn't really explain what they are. So if you don't know what they are, you might feel a little lost. You can think of them as a mix of an action plan or a drip campaign. I mean, really, they're highly customizable. They can be whatever you want them to be, but the ones that I made for you guys to use for your leads are a mix of settings and actions. Okay, so actions are things like tasks, emails, text messages, phone calls, status updates of the contacts, and then settings are when those things happen. Okay, now if you do nothing, okay, and I'm not going to recommend that you do nothing, but sometimes life happens. If you do nothing, over 90% of the outreach is going to your lead and it's getting nurtured. I actually received an email from a Toronto agent today because he had to share with me that he had a lead. He has one listing, a designated listing, his own listing, and somebody asked about it, but he's not the best. So he didn't reply to that lead. He was busy, whatever. But he had the campaign turned on and he forgot about the lead. And the lead actually replied to him today, this morning, after about 3 months of receiving the automated messages. Okay. So here's a summary. I'm not going to go into the detail of the messages, but the campaign lasts for 6 months. So my friend, Mr. Toronto agent, he had a lead right around here, right? Like a day like 160 or 170, be getting all this stuff, finally decided to answer. Now they're engaging. Now he's working with this person. And he felt the need to email me because he said, Stephanie, I kind of always doubted it when you told me to do these things, but I turned it on just for the fun of it. Forgot that I turned it on, and lo and behold, it did some work for me. So this is an overview, okay, of what happens in the campaign. What's important and what is highlighted, okay, that I wanted to draw your attention to are the things for you to do, okay? These are the things that are not automated by the system. That includes a custom email that, answers their specific question, a phone call. I can't make the system do that yet. Um, Set them up on a listing alert. So I said before, like property alerts, and then removing them from the property alerts on day 13. Everything else the system does for you. Now, my friend John, he didn't even do these tasks and he's still winning. So, now you want to do your tasks, you want to do better than that. But like I said, if you don't, that's okay. The system has your back. Now, what's cool about this is as soon as the lead replies, the auto messages stop. Okay. Because the point of all of these is to get them to reply. That's the point of all these messages, is to get them to reply. And then when they reply, you do what you do well, and that's engaging with people. Okay. Now, if they never ever reply, and most of them won't, okay, the system at the 6 month mark is going to remove castle consent. It's candy anti spam legislation, removes the consent. They will change the contact to archive. It stays in your CRM, but you don't have to think about it anymore. Okay? Just kind of living in the background. So, why do people not use these things even though they are so amazing and effective? Well, the most common reason that I hear from people is they say, "Well, the campaign doesn't sound like me. It doesn't speak in the way that I speak. It's not my voice." And you know what? Like I'll kind of agree with you. It probably doesn't sound just like you. Like I wrote it. It might sound like, well, it probably doesn't even sound like me, to be honest, because these were written with every single word thought over. Okay. These were written to elicit a response from leads. Okay. So no, it probably doesn't sound like you. It sounds like people who Oh, I love, okay, Stacy put in a question there. I love it. Cool. I'm gonna address that. Um, but you need to remember that for the most part, your leads are complete strangers. They don't know you. An online lead, somebody whom I've never met, they're not going to receive a message from a campaign and think, wow, that doesn't sound like Stephanie. I wonder if she uses a bot. They don't know me. And you know what? If they're clever enough to wonder if I'm using some kind of automated system, well, they'll appreciate that I use time-saving devices, right? Nobody takes it, right? Everyone kind of assumes that people uses these things nowadays. Now, I'm going to bring it back to the previous slide because Stacy put in a really cool question. Why remove them? Why remove them on day 13? You're sending them this stuff. You told me earlier that these are great things that people like. Why are you taking it away from them? Because I want them to reply to me and tell me, don't take that away. Because my automated email is going to say, Dear Stacy, for the past few weeks, I've been sending you listings that I hope I now don't quote me on this. It's a little different, but it'll say, "Dear Stacy, I've past few weeks I've been sending you listings that I hope you'd enjoy. I haven't received a reply from you. Rather than bother you with unwanted emails, I'm going to stop sending these to you." And then all of a sudden, Stacy goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, Stephanie, don't, no, don't take that away." And this, you're going to get a lot of you're going to get a lot of replies. So that's why we do it. Hmm. Okay. Now, um, this is a copy of the immediate lead that your immediate email that your lead will receive if it comes in with an email only and you activate the campaign. Okay. If they include a phone number, they get a text that's like pretty much the same thing. Hey Bill, hi Bill, thanks for your inquiry on the Royal LePage website. I need to confirm some details to make sure you get the right information. Do you prefer email, text, or phone call? You can call me on my number below or reply to this email with your number if you want to text or talk on the phone. If you prefer email, I'm okay with that too. Just let me know. I'll send you an email with detailed information soon. Sincerely, Stephanie Gelman. Now, the key pieces of this message, because I told you, we researched everything to say. And in case you're wondering, well, why do you say that? We told the person where they completed a form. Because believe it or not, people, they sometimes forget that they filled out a form, or they might have gone to another website, right? And filled out other forms. So you always want to tell them you were on the Royal LePage website. It also lets them know that their message has been received, and I will be in touch with them very soon. Gives them that immediate satisfaction. So hopefully they're not going to go and fill out more. Okay. So here's a few more examples of other messages that are included in the campaigns. If you want to see the others, you can go and check them out and preview. But, some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. Hello, Stephanie. I've been trying to reach you. Is this the right number? Just a nice, short, sweet text, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Now, some of our longer pieces include the professionally designed and templated informational pieces. So we have ones for buyer leads, ones for seller leads. You don't have to think about it. It just automatically applies. This one is an example of one that comes in that helps people navigate showings. Now, here's what's cool about this. Look at this. I didn't have to do anything. But look, I got my nice picture in here. I have my contact info and even my social links. Okay, so all I had to do for that is make sure that I had a completed profile with an up-to-date photo. Make sure you don't have an old photo that is, you know, not you anymore. Um, and it did that for me. Okay, so on the very last day, okay, so I said before, if your lead has not replied to any of the messages on the last day or near the last day of the campaign, they get this very final message. Hi, I know I've been persistent, but I want to help with your real estate needs. This is my last attempt to reach you. All the best, and please let me know if I can help at any time. Sincerely, Stephanie Gelman. If they don't reply to that, well, after a couple days, the system automatically archives them. You don't have to worry about them anymore. Okay. So if you want to truly maximize your results with leads, use a smart campaign. Now, the ones that we made, like I said, they're amazing. They have positive results. You don't have to do anything all except for turn them on and follow the steps. Okay. But if you want to go the next mile, if you're somebody that is more techie or you just want to take it further, customization will increase their effectiveness. Adding videos is always a good idea. If you want to throw in a quick intro video, hi, I'm Stephanie the agent, and here's a video of me, people love that. You'll get more opens, okay? And if you can provide value that's specific to your neighborhood, right? Because what we added is generic. So if you do those kind of customizations, you'll have even better results, okay? Um, so similar to the chart that I had before, but in a different way to look at it, let the system do so much of the work for you. Okay. If they answer, that's great. You talk to them. If they don't answer, archived. Now, When the people answer, we want to interact. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I'm sure you are probably better than I am at interacting with leads, but I do know a few tips and tricks to engage people. Okay. So, um, it's very important to be conversational and curious, not overly salesy, because they might be a little nervous still. Okay. So always, always, always give people lots of chance to respond, ask a lot of questions, find out what they really want and why they want what they want, and ask open ended questions. Okay. And always, always, always end your communications with a call to action. Okay. So specifically, or a call to action or a question. Okay, so for example, if somebody reaches out to me and asks me, well, how much are the taxes, right? And I see that a lot with a lead. Well, how much are the taxes? And that's the only thing that they put in the form. Now, some agents will write back, well, the taxes are $4,000 a year, period. Well, that's not very engaging now, is it? But if I write back, the taxes are $4,000 a year, does that fit your budget? Huge difference. I'm inviting a conversation. So in that first chart, when I said on day one, after you get a lead, you need to do a custom email, right? If your lead asks, well, how much are the taxes? You're going to remember. You're going to tell them, and then you're going to ask a question. Is the backyard fenced? Yes, it is fenced. Is that what you were looking for? No, it is not fenced. Is that a deal breaker for you? Can I show you places that do have a fence, et cetera, et cetera? See the difference? Instead of just a close, I'm giving you a fact, conversation over, versus ending the communication with a question to engage conversation. Okay. So we're getting near the end. I love it. I want to talk about statistics because I know that you guys well, I don't know what you know about statistics or what you think about statistics, but I know I love numbers and I think that they are very important. Okay. And I studied statistics a little bit in school. And one fun one that we used to talk about was coin flipping, right? If I'm flipping a coin, well, we know I have a 50% chance of heads and a 50% chance of tails. But that does not mean that if I do two flips, I'm guaranteed one head and one tail. You know that. Everybody knows that. The more times I flip, though, the more my results will balance out. Okay. So, similarly, when working leads, well managed leads, they're going to close probably in the 4 to 6% range, maybe even higher if you're really good. Okay. But it doesn't mean your first 4 to 6 leads will close. It doesn't mean that you'll get one out of your first 20. It could mean that you need to get a lot of leads to have enough to have a statistical chance, even if you do everything right, because most of your leads will not close. Okay. You need to remember that most of them won't, even when you do everything right. It's like going out dating. You need to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince. Okay. You need a large enough pool of leads to have statistically significant results. Okay. And that's okay. We know that. But the ones that do close make it worthwhile, right? So, because we know that most of them are not going to work out, we want to use something that helps us sift the good from the bad, right? Use the system. They're going to save you time. The people that want to interact will reply, then you do stuff with them, and everyone else can stay on a drip until they're ready. Okay? You got it. You got it now. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up just to some general points about tracking, because too many people don't track, and if you don't track, you don't know what works and you don't know what doesn't work. You might think you know, but you don't because you're not tracking. Okay, you might not even know if you've closed a lead. You're going to be relying on fragmented memories trying to figure out why things happened. Okay, so track key metrics, the number of leads received compared to the number of closed leads. That's going to tell you your close rate. I closed 2 out of 100. My close rate is 2%. Okay. Now, if you have different lead sources, ideally you want to break it down by source so you can know, well, do my Facebook leads close better than my Royal LePage leads? And what about my Google paid ad leads or leads that maybe I have from a third party, whatever you're doing, look at your different sources. Okay. And then while you're doing that, track the average commission you're earning from the sources. So going along with your closes, you want to know which ones are making you the most money, right? And are they worth it? So you can use Sphere to help you track this. So if you update your leads, right? Because all your leads come in with a status. If you mark them as closed when they close, you can use a little section called Business Analytics, and it's going to tell you which sources are performing best. So then you don't have to make charts and spreadsheets or any craziness like that. All you have to do is mark them as you work with them. Okay. So, um, we've seen here, this is a nice little summary of how Smart Leads, when combined with Sphere, really systematizes your optimal lead conversion, and it will increase your close rates. Okay. Because you're going to get leads quickly. You're going to have them automatically entered into your system. When the smart campaigns are activated, they're automatically applied. They do over 90% of the work for you. They do the immediate reply, the persisting with the outreach. They're castle compliant. They look beautiful. They turn off when your lead replies, and they automatically archive your lead if they don't reply. I mean, gee, if they could only take people out to showings, then it would just be fabulous, right? So stick with your best practices, okay? And you will have success with leads. It's not going to happen overnight, okay? But it will pay off. Okay. So let the campaigns do the heavy lifting for you. Okay. Now, how do you do that? You need to go into Sphere after this call and turn on the campaigns if you don't have them turned on. Now, in the RLP network, okay, under the marketing tab, there's a tab called Smart Leads. And that's where you can find a lot of Smart Leads resources, including one called RLP Sphere Smart Campaigns for Online Leads. Okay, I created, I think maybe 30. There's a lot of them. Different campaigns for every different kind of lead that you could get. Don't waste your time and try to preview the content of every campaign. They're all very similar. Okay, there's just so many to ensure that every kind of lead can have um, a campaign applied. Um, let's see. Uh, okay, sorry, I see a question. I got distracted. I saw a question, but I don't really understand your question, Julie. So maybe you want to rephrase it, or not sure. But yeah, so you're going to find that resource. It's going to list all the campaigns that I recommend, and just turn them on. Turn them on. Um, Yeah, exactly. Do I have a set of smart campaigns? Those are the ones. So in this doc, okay, so I'll send it to you guys along with the recording. But if you're really eager and you want to check it out now, you don't want to wait for me to send you the recording. Okay, you just go the RLP network, marketing smart leads, agent resources, RLP Sphere, smart campaigns for online leads. And that doc, it's a Google Doc. It lists the names of all the campaigns I recommend you turn on. It also provides a summary of what happens in them. Okay. Like I said, you don't, if you want to, you can go in the system and preview every single message, but you don't need to. Trust me, they're all very similar. Okay. So now, before we go, okay, we're almost done. I'm going to do a few training recommendations. My Smart Leads YouTube channel, you should have a listen. There's a lot of good sessions. Some of them are hosted by me. Some of them I have guest speakers. I strongly recommend you check out the two that I had with agents. I've done some agent interviews. I did one with an agent named Shaheen Zare from Regina. He's an award winner. He's been with RLP for like 10, 15 years. He's amazing. He uses smart campaigns, and I love the way he talks about them because he's very blunt. And he basically says, hey, you know what? I know that I suck at marketing. That's not what I'm good at. So I let the marketers do that. I use your stuff. Another interview that I recommend you listen to is with Liam Poirier. He's actually not that far from you guys. He's from RLP Edmonds in Petawawa. He's another, like, he's a new agent, but he's an award winner, and he had a lot of success with leads. So you could check out and hear what he has to say, and hear some of his tips and tricks. Okay. um our learning services department, they're really the people that you want to go to for your training needs. I don't do too many of these sessions, unfortunately, but there's like 5 of them, so there's a lot of them to provide training. There's live and recorded webinars. They also do in-person training. Okay, so you can check them out on the RLP network. You can call them, you can email them, you can also find some of their stuff in Sphere. There's a whole section in there called RLP Campus. Okay. And then lastly, if you like to read, um, there's 2 books that I really recommend. One is called The Conversion Code by Chris Smith, and I believe it is now in its 2nd edition. So, if you can find the newer one, I have the older one. It's still awesome. Maybe there's some new techniques that I should check out in the 2nd edition. So that one's all about working online leads. The other one I recommend is called Exactly What to Say, and it's by Philip M. Jones. And it's really just about how to communicate effectively, whether if it's with online leads, customers, or just people. I use it with my husband, my kid, to get what I want. It's very effective. So those are my recommendations for the day. We have a few minutes, so I can stick around if people have questions or comments.
I'll just say, Stephanie, thank you very much. You're passionate about this, and I know why, because you know it works. And you've seen it work in action, and the system is there. Royal LePage has provided it to us. It said, here it is, use it, it works. So all people have to do is go in and use the system. And we've seen success with it for the people who have. So we beg you to, implore you to get into it. And like you said, it's not only good for your smart leads, it's good for all your leads, right? You can put your own database in there. You can put all your designated leads in there. So there's all kinds of advantages for it, and you'll make more money from it. Easy to set up, and then and away you go. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, nice to see a good turnout. And I hope that the folks who were not able to make it can get a lot of benefit from the recording.
Right. Yes, we will be pushing that out for sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments from anyone else? Questions?
All right. See some thank
Thanks
yous.
for being here. Thanks for being here, Stephanie. All
Yeah,
good.
you're welcome. Thanks, Mark.
Great.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
folks. Take
Thanks,
care.
everyone.
Bye now.
Stephanie, have a good day.